We're back for another office hour session.
We made it. It only took us 5 or 6 minutes. Swear to God, we've been here 20 minutes trying to go live, but seems like every time we learn a new nuance to this whole process.
That's right.
Um, so I think that maybe it's my job this week to go to start things out. First of all, Happy New Year. I think the last time we did office hours was in 2024. I actually signed my son's permission slip as January 7th, 2024 yesterday, and he pointed that out to me. So I don't know. It's going to take a while to get used to it. But
At least four
yeah,
months.
last
Yeah.
time we shared a little bit like unique about ourselves. I think that to keep it kind of short, Brent, you had something to share. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. So over the break, one of the Christmas gifts my wife got for me was a woodworking class. So I enjoy doing woodworking, and I thought it would be cool to share because it turns into a really unique gift. And if you're looking for a unique gift for somebody that has everything, this is might be something you want to look into. So the what she gifted to me was a woodworking class at Rockler to make a live edge bowl, and it was really cool. It was like a 3 or 4 hour event. I took a couple of pictures, nothing too crazy. But when you show up, you literally start with
oh
they
wow.
hand you a block of wood. And so you get to, just learn all the techniques. This class happened to be a live edge bowl class. It was taught by like an old shop teacher. Um, so when he asked, "Hey, who's used a lathe? Who's done something like this before?" He let us know that we chose one of the more challenging courses for our first class. Um, but it was really fun. You chalk it up on the lathe. At this point, I was in it, so I didn't actually take more pictures of it in the act. But the end result was taking that hunk of wood and turning it. I'm going to stop sharing just so it's hopefully a full screen. Um,
Wow.
so this is the bowl that I ended up making. It's a little dark, of course, but he provided a walnut blank. Um, and it was really fun. Now we have a great little keepsake to, fill up with whatever tchotchkes we can think of, and it was definitely something that I'll look to do again, whether I just take another class to get another bowl, or actually invest in buying the tools I need to do it myself at home.
That's super cool. How do you uh how do you do the inside?
So the chisels that you're using,
Uh-huh.
you just go from the inside, like you just change your angle instead of from the outside, you do the same thing on the inside of the bowl. Um, the nice thing
Like
about the
I'm
course and his
yeah.
experience was he almost, at least at the shop store I went to, guarantees that everyone's going to walk away with a bowl. Now, there were some close calls where one lady nicked it and all of a sudden the bowl went flying across the whole store. So, you have to be cautious, I guess. But yeah, everyone walked away with the bowl.
I can imagine. Like I was drilling something from the backside yesterday, a car thing, and I was like, don't go check where you're at. And then I just felt it go all the way through. Like imagine like you're doing the bowl and then
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The bowl did start out for me much wider. And at one point in the class, he comes over and whenever the teacher makes the comment, "What have you done now?" You know you've done something wrong. So my bowl's a lot skinnier because I just kept on shaving stuff off. I was in the
It
zone.
reminds me of like you don't ever want to get a haircut from a new person because they just like they're like, yeah, it's uneven on that side. It's uneven. And then pretty soon you have
Right.
no hair. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Similar.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, go make a bowl if you're looking for something unique. It's a fun little outing.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think from a housekeeping perspective,
Yep.
so you may be watching on LinkedIn Live. You may be there right now. If you are, there's a link to the Zoom in the comments. Love to have you jump over here and like interact with us live. But if you're not in a position where you can do that and you're listening and you just want to ask us questions, you can drop them into the comments of the event. There's about a 45-second delay, so we'll see them, try to address them, and of course, if we don't, you're welcome to reach out to either one of us directly. And you know, um, I think that's it from a housekeeping perspective. And then, Brenton,
Yeah.
did you have something you want to cover as a follow up?
Yeah. So our last office session, we talked all about counters, the benefits of counters and everything like that. And since then, I just happened to stumble into a scenario where, as great as counters are, you just have to be mindful of limitations as well. If you're using counters to help drive maybe language that gets presented on a document, because of when a counter is populated, it's kind of after the playbook. And so if you are relying on the ability for, let's say, an admin, the deal desk, to edit a text block, then a counter isn't necessarily going to be able to help you because that needs to be driven off of aspects of the playbook itself. Um,
Hmm.
so that was just a interesting scenario I just happened to bump into, that applying counters makes sense completely. But if you have unique scenarios, such as wanting to allow for text to be editable in the playbook at all times, um, there's going to be a trade-off if you want to always have the counters working. So I thought I'd just bring that up as a an interesting follow-up item.
I think that's what you made me think about is like, here we are, we've been doing DealHub for years, right? And we still cover new ways to do things, and little nuances to things. I'm we're gonna release our 10 mistakes to avoid as a DealHub admin article hopefully this week. If you watched
Yeah.
the previous office hours, we kind of touched on some of those topics. But as we were editing the document, one of the pieces that landed on the bottom for the blog post was, like, DealHub's like playing poker. Like, it's easy to learn, it takes a long time to master, right? And
Yes.
I think about that, like my 11-year-old son and his friends, you can sit them down and play poker with them for sure. They're terrible at it. Right? So like, you can learn the mechanics of the game, but all of these nuances and figuring out how to do things in the most optimal way, it just it takes learning, it takes a while.
There,
So
there are layers. There are layers. And
there
that
are layers.
actually brings us to the topic we've kind of prepared for today, and that is, adding some layers to some common functionality that everyone uses, even your first day in DealHub. And so for today, what I've developed is a little bit of a demo to show off some of the more advanced use cases or uses of text lists, and showing you how even in your environments today, you can take multiple lists of products, of features, whatever you have built into your playbook, and actually merge them together seamlessly using a couple of techniques. And I even prepared a way that you can dynamically edit that list based on selections throughout the playbook as well. So just as I start sharing my screen here, I'll pull up a Deal Hub environment and we'll go into it. Ryan, any other opening comments as we set this up?
No, I think this is functionality that was released probably in the last 6 months, and so it's it's a huge time saver. It makes the users experience much better. So I'm really interested to kind of dig into the details here.
Yes, yes. All right. So uh, let's take a look. So I have open a sales reps playbook, right? And let's say that day one, they come in and they have to select a variety of products. I'll choose two product lines just for our example. And using guided selling, the strategy that we have built here is that there are many follow-up questions that need to be addressed in order to properly quote these products, such as virtual server and cloud storage. But also for each product, there are additional add-ons, and each product line has a list of add-ons. Again, nothing wrong with this configuration. Now we start thinking though, how could we improve this? How could we make it easier for the sales rep to start thinking, well, how can I upsell or how can I add things into the environment? And here we already have a add-ons section, but this section is displaying a singular add-on for premium support. What if we could just funnel all of the add-ons from every product line selected into this one location? So that way, when the rep is trying to figure out, well, I've answered all the core questions, but what can I add to the proposal I'm building? Instead of having to jump between different question groups or different sections, they can go to the add-on section and have everything they need. So today I want to demonstrate how you can leverage advanced features of the text list to actually accomplish that. Okay. So first, I'll start going into kind of admin mode in DealHub. Let's review or explore how we can take these different product line lists and each of our 3 product lines. I've built 5 add-ons. Let's make it so they all flow into our add-on section of the playbook. Again, let me zoom in so hopefully it's coming through on the stream.
That's good.
All right, perfect. So what we can see, as far as the playbook is organized from an admin perspective, it's great. We have clear labeling to understand what items are associated. And we can clearly see, like, here's our add-on section that we saw at the bottom of the question group. I'll go ahead and open up this answer. And as we saw right now, we're only displaying premium support, but it is this feature at the top right that allows for you to include answers from other questions throughout the playbook, specifically text list based questions. So as you can see, we have plenty of text-based questions to query from. But what we're focused in on is trying to just pull in all of the different products add-ons. So we have our VS add-ons, our DED add-ons, and CS add-ons, right? Done. Now, another thing that we already have in place, because as you saw, the follow-on questions for each product line are dynamically showing up based on the product selection. So I didn't have to do things like hide or choose when these questions populate into the playbook. That was kind of already set up in this example. So now I've made that change. Let me go ahead and save it. Refresh the.
Well, you're configuring live.
Yeah, I know.
Bold.
The thing you never do. hopefully, hopefully the demo gnomes don't sneak
Right.
out. We'll see here. Now I have done a couple of things to prep some scenarios in advance, but already we'll go ahead and just add virtual server. We still have our 5 items listed inside of the virtual server section, but also now all 5 items are automatically kind of getting pulled into our virtual server section. I'm sorry, into our add-in section. And that's dynamic. So as soon as I add or remove items, everything is pulling in, right?
Yeah.
And so now to eliminate confusion, the rep no longer needs to look to the product line section in order to make a choice. So I did a little demo prep here, and we could just simply hide all of the product line questions in the playbook and get our full list in one spot. So the strategy is really seamless, right? Because now you only are presenting the items that are needed. You're not presenting all items at all times. And it provides a really nice flow.
Yeah, and it isolates it. Like it's always about, how does a rep think through how they're going to sell this, right? And so, okay, I'm going to
Yes.
handle all the hardware decisions, and then at the end, okay, what are my add-on services? Do I need to add installation? Do I need to add maintenance? And And like, and generally that's kind of a global thing too, right? If you're going to sell maintenance to somebody for one thing, you're probably going to sell it for all the things. So
Yes,
like having it in a single list and seeing it all together makes it really easy. And then you may be planning on talking about this, but I imagine like the programming, the product assignment rule becomes simpler too, right? Because now
absolutely.
you can point to one question instead of like five different ones and all
That's
that.
exactly right. Yeah, whether it's the product rules, the document template, document parameters. Now, instead of having to remember what was the ID for the add-ons for every single product line, you could just look at one question and know that it's a like includes any, right? This one question is always going to have all the options for me. I don't have to map to many different areas, so you have a lot less context switching, so much easier to maintain overall. Yeah, just the benefits just keep on rolling with this type of build out.
Very slick.
Let's take it one more step though, right? So great, we have all of our add-ins kind of rolling up into this one section. What if we need some of those to be hidden? For example, what if there is something like a starter package? And the second that a customer says, yes, I want to buy the starter package, well, no longer do all of the add-ins apply, right? Maybe the starter package automatically includes items. And whether you want to record those as subscriptions or present them on your output documents, those are all downstream decisions. But from the quoter's perspective, why burden them with having to know, oh, the starter package includes this? Why not just take it off the table? So let's
Mm-hmm.
take a look at the other more advanced feature inside of the lists, and that's the ability to exclude, apply an exclude filter. And so the way these work in DealHub is that if a playbook question, its final result is a string of text that matches any text that you're making available from your pull down. So just for example, the advanced DDoS protection, premium 24/7 support, right? If that string is presented in another question that you reference in our exclusion, then that value just gets lifted off the list. So what I have done, just got to find it here. I have our starter package question. Do you want to sell the starter package? Yes, no. And then as a follow on to it, only when someone is buying the starter package, here are a list of all the add-ons that come with the starter package. So we can just simply take our starter package included question, and we're going to feed that into the exclude filter. Starter package included. Okay. Right. So now, as long as that question turns on,
Mm-hmm.
anything listed there is just going to fall off the list.
It's like, and I noticed that you had on your feeder, it was called, I'll call it the feeder question for the exclusion. You have it multi select enabled and you have them all toggled to default on.
I
Do,
do.
yeah. Okay.
I do. You know, to be honest, I don't know if that's absolutely required.
I
I
think
feel
it
like
is.
it is. Yeah,
I
if they
think
aren't
because
toggled, then it wouldn't have been excluded, right?
exactly. So, like, th- this concept is it's pretty advanced, right? Like, so
Yes.
if anybody's watching this and you're thinking, I think I have a use case for it, it'd be awesome to have you come join the next office hours and like let's talk through it and hash it out. Um, because what you're doing is you're using it to kind of basically clean up the last list, but you can use it in another way too, where you can have like the same options in two lists. And if somebody selects B and C up here, then don't show
Only
B
show
and
it
C down
once.
here.
Oh,
Right. Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great example of how to
Yeah.
simplify it. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, so we'll go ahead
Like,
and
yeah.
turn this on now. Say, yes, I want to sell the starter package. There were 6 items here before.
Mm-hmm.
and I believe I had it strip 2 items from every product line, right? So
Yeah.
just for a quick visual example, now the starter package is being sold. You probably add the starter package as a line item in your product summary. You'd be presenting that in the output documents, but no longer does the rep need to remember, oh yeah, I don't have to sell this thing as well, or worry about a different selection, right? You've cleaned up the guided selling process for them.